ó milẹ̀ títì. Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́. Ó ń sẹ́lẹ̀lẹ̀. Ó milẹ̀ títì. Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́. Ó ń sẹ́lẹ̀lẹ̀.
Much this morning. We do appreciate you for being there. This is Eco Pointer again on Success Radio Ibadan. We are back again this morning to serve you information on economics and businesses, on career, on finances, issues that has to do with finance, with economics, with businesses for your welfare. And what do we do on this program? We talk about the international information that has to do with your welfare financially, the national information that relates or influences what you do in your businesses, even the local information that has to do with how to improve your well-being. And it is no other platform, it is Success Radio Ibadan. Success Radio Ibadan. How do you connect us? You connect us via Facebook. Just type Success Radio Ibadan. Or on your YouTube, Success Radio Ibadan. If you're already there, please ensure help us to like it and help us to share it to all your contacts. Let others be involved in it. Why do we need to share? We need to share because business information is not only for one person. It has to involve a lot of people, because you cannot be the buyer and be the seller at the same time. For us to create wealth, some people have to be the supplier, some people have to be the buyer, some people have to be the producer, some people have to be the consumers. And you never can tell if the person you share the information to will be the consumer of what you are producing. You never can tell. That is why it is important for us to share the Facebook address, share the program to all our contacts. Share it. My name is Kolawole Kayode, your anchor on the program Eco Pointer on Success Radio Ibadan. What do we have to do this morning? We brought you some information that has to do with international, is brought to us from the international scene, and they have a lot of local relevance, and they have to do with what you are doing right there in your own business. There are also national news that we have brought to you, which has to do with your economics and your business. And we are going to do a kind of flashback this morning to some of the information we have shared before. Now, how they now relate to what we are saying this morning. That is to tell us that previous information, they are also still relevant to what we are doing now and in the future. That is why previous information are used for decision making in business. All right, this morning I want to share with us from this information that came from the Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives. The Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, the name you know is Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. What information did he have for us? He said, Nigeria must use population for economic growth. Nigeria must use population for economic growth. The Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has said, Nigeria must harness and maximize the advantage of its changing population structure to achieve rapid economic growth. The Speaker of the Green Chamber spoke in Abuja on Monday, that was yesterday, 21st of November 2022, at a parliamentary summit on fast-tracking Nigerian democratic transition, organized by his office in collaboration with the National Population Commission, that is the NPC, with support from the World Bank. The Speaker said, everyone agreed that the youth population in Nigeria is increasing, and we should not just be looking at this. We must seize the opportunity of the youth population to improve on the Nigerian economy. Now, what are the fallout from what the Speaker has said? We take note that the last census in Nigeria took place in 2006. That it should be about 12 or so. Is that not? I think about that's more than 12 years. Far. That's more than 12 years. The last census took place in Nigeria in 2006. That is 16 years ago. By estimation, now Nigerian population is believed to be above 220 million people, and that is based on the average growth rate of 2.5% annually. Now, if the population is growing at this rate, 2.5% annually, the meaning is that out of every 100 people in the nation, if Nigeria is 100 people today, by next year, there must have been about 3 more people added to the 100. Which means, if Nigeria is 1,000 people this year, by next year, there must be about 30 people added to the 1,000. Are we getting it? If Nigeria is 1 million, yes, by next year, there must have been about 30,000 people added, or say 25,000 people added to the 1 million. So, which means on a yearly basis, Nigeria seems to increase in population by about 5 million people if we say 2.5% increase annually. We're doing this breakdown so that as business people we can understand what we're saying. About 5 million people is added to the 200 million on the average of one year. Every year like that. About 5 million people, plus or minus, so to say. Now the question is, are we creating up to 5 million jobs every year as the population is increasing? The people who are not employed before the new 5 million come in, do we have job already for them? Now the new ones who are coming up, are we creating enough job for them? And remember that those who are infants, sucking child now, by next year they will have graduated to another category of population, maybe to children. Children graduate to teenagers. Teenagers graduate to young adults. Young adults graduate to full adults, and like that and like that. And as the population increases and people are increasing in age, so the need, food need, clothing need, many housing need, many other need are increasing and expanding. Now, from the federal government, what effort are we doing? Are we doing enough? These are the things that the Speaker of the House of Representatives is trying to tell us. What are the things we are doing from the federal government, by the state government, by the local government, even those of us in our families? What are we doing about this population that is blowing and increasing every year? Now, these are the issues now. When we begin to compare, the situation of Nigeria is not too bad. And why would I say that? Nigeria is not the most populous nation in the world. Nigeria is not the most populous country in the world. China and India, they have more than 1 billion people in their countries, and they have to take care of them. For China, there are about 1.3 billion people. India is about 1 billion people, a little above 1 billion people, which means China is about times 6 of Nigerian population. And India is about times 5 of Nigerian population. Now, China has done a lot of things to help themselves. Many of the things we use, all of us are witness: electronics, toothpick, plate, cloth, almost so, including vehicles, buses, truck. When you see Sino on truck, those are Chinese products. And India is doing a lot to help its own people. Almost most of the drugs that we see in our pharmaceutical stores, in pharmacy stores, most of them, they are produced all the way from from India. And many of the foreign trips that people go for medical tourism and medical treatment, I tell you, many of those trips are to India. Not only that, when you talk about ICT, computer knowledge, most of them, a lot is being done in India. Not only that, even when it comes to automobile, when you see Tata Tata. These are vehicles that came all the way from India. Now, all these countries with large population, they are not looking down on themselves. They are rising up to do something to help themselves. Now, this is what we are talking about in this part of the world, our own country that is called Nigeria. What is this country known for? What can we say we are doing enough to bring a lot of wealth into this country to feed these over 220 million people? Do you know there are advantages that Nigeria has because of our population? Number one advantage is that we have a large market. Whatever anybody has to sell, there is market. There are people to buy. There are people to buy from whatever you are selling. Whether you are selling sachet water or bottled water or cloth or food, anything, there is market to buy. We have high bargaining power. With a population of 220 million people, anywhere our leaders go, anywhere our representatives go, when they stand, they know, when they open their mouth to speak, they know that 220 million people are speaking at the same time. And so when they demand something from any nation, those nations want to yield to their request because they know they represent a large population. For example, if you compare with a nation with 10 million population, say Benin Republic, a nation with 20 million population. Now, if the two nations are transacting business with China and India, or with US and UK and Germany, and they say, okay, we want those companies that are producing cloth in Germany, those companies that are producing automobile, all these automobile parts, vehicle parts being produced in Germany, we want that company to come to our own country. We want that company to come to our own country and start the business right here in our country. Now, you two look at it. Between Nigeria of 220 million people and another country of 10 million, 20 million people, who do you think Germany will answer? Who do you think India, China will answer first? And this is to tell us that there is no excuse why there should not be companies in this place. There should not be excuse why there should not be factories, a lot of them, because we have the market here. This importation must stop. If there is anything that China used to help themselves and deliver themselves from being a beggar country and set themselves free from the bondage of USA, of UK, of Germany, of Italy, that policy was that they decided that anything they could do in their country, they will not give it out for others to do. They will not import it. They did them in their country. Of course, they started with a lot of failure, disappointment, imperfections. They didn't get it right perfectly from the start. But they kept improving, and they were improving. So I want to challenge us, as many of us who are listening to this program, leaders, representatives, political leaders, business owners, social opinion molders. All these issues are important for us to be able to build Nigeria. Whatever Nigeria can do, we should stop importing them. And the more we import, the more we lose our jobs. That is the point. So the day we start producing here, that day our children will start getting the jobs to do. Another advantage of our large population is the abundant labor. We have a lot of people who are willing to work. If you say we need 10,000 workers in so place, I can tell you more than 100,000 workers will apply there. It is unlike some nations where they need medical practitioners and they are looking for people that will come from other countries to come and work in their own country. For Nigeria, we really don't need much people to come from other countries to come and work here. We have enough. What we need is to engage the people that we have. These are the things that possibly the Speaker of the House of Representatives is saying. But we are also challenging the political leaders that many of these issues are in their hand. They are the one to forge ahead. They are the one to first deny themselves. Is the Speaker himself not using made in UK vehicle? Is the President not using made in US vehicle? Many of these people are using imported products and they are leading us, and they want to create job for us. It has to start from the head. It has to be locally made products. We are aware of companies that produce vehicle in this country. Even if they are not doing it 100%, even if they are doing it 30%, 40%, it is a starting point. We should encourage them. Just this yesterday, I saw some vehicle by FRSC, Federal Road Safety Corps. It was made by a company here in the nation Nigeria. I said, this is good. This is part of what we want. And we want that kind of situation to go round like that. We can stop importation. Another information I need to share here is the recommendation given by IMF. You know IMF, International Monetary Fund. The IMF gave Nigeria solution spinning recommendation, and the IMF is saying this recommendation will help the economy of this nation, will help people to put food on their table, will help businesses to grow and things to get better. Is that true? The IMF made this disclosure in its 2022 Article 4 consultation following an official staff visit to Nigeria. Out of the recommendation, we noted 5 major ones that we need to discuss this morning. 5 major recommendations that we need to discuss this morning. And it is on that note, I said we will refer to previous information that we have given on this program. The first recommendation by the IMF says our CBN, that the Central Bank of Nigeria, should withdraw from fixing the price of dollar. My question is, do you agree? Do you agree that our central bank should withdraw from fixing the price of dollar? What impact will that fixing of the price of dollar do? What impact will the withdrawal do for us as a nation? What the CBN is trying to tell us is that the CBN should not say this is how much dollar should be. You know, the current official rate of dollar is above 4, or just a little above 400 naira, not up to 500 naira. But the reality of what people are buying in the market is 800 naira, more than 800 naira, going to 900. And that becomes like a two-market regime. The CBN says the dollar should not be more than a little above 400. But in reality, where people are actually buying, they are buying on the average of 800 naira for $1. Now, IMF is saying that this kind of situation is disturbing foreign investors from coming into the nation. They are confused. They don't know on what particular exchange rate should they base their plan. The amount of the exchange rate is not the major issue, but the stability of the exchange rate, that is where the issue is. They want to be able to say, okay, the exchange rate is this amount. Now they want to come into Nigeria to invest. We are investing in Nigeria based on so amount of the exchange rate, the amount of the price of the dollar, so that they can project into a year, into 2 years, into 3 years, and say, if we invest this amount of dollars, this is how much we are going to get by a year or 2 or 3 or 4. So CBN is saying the central bank should hand off and allow our commercial banks, those are the banks where you keep your money, our deposit banks, to do the marketing, the buying, the selling of the dollar. It should not be in the hand of CBN again. How much we buy, how much they sell should now be in the hand of the bank. They should determine how much. In other words, the monetary policy power should withdraw from the hand of CBN and come to the commercial bank. We should now allow the free flow of the market forces, depending on how many people are willing to buy dollars, how many people are having dollars to sell. That those two forces of demand and supply will determine the amount the dollar will be sold. Sincerely, I wish you can send your opinion so that we can talk about this issue. For me, I'm also looking at it. You too can send in your opinion that when we talk about this thing, which one will pay this country? Is it for the CBN to keep fixing it? But as long as the CBN is fixing the price of dollar, there will always be a parallel market, which we call black market. Or should the CBN hand off and allow the banks to fix the rate themselves? If they fix it themselves, will the price of the banks not be more than what is available in the black market? Are we sure what is likely to happen? And based on that point, I want to bring you this information that we shared with you. on 12th of September 2022. 12th September, that is in September this year, just roughly about 2 months ago. We gave you this information from the Sun News Online. CBN inject $7.6 billion into foreign exchange markets in 5 months to stabilize Naira. The Apex Bank said this in its monthly economic report for May 2022. The bank said the intervention was done by direct sale of foreign exchange to authorized dealers. Breakdown of the intervention shows that $1.65 billion was injected in January, $1.39 billion was injected in February 2022, $1.82 billion was injected in March, $1.56 billion was injected in April, and $1.18 billion was injected in May. And despite the injection, the Naira depreciated by 0.7% to 415 Naira to a dollar. That's the official rate, not the black market rate. During the period last year, 2021, CBN stopped the sale of dollars to bureau de change, blaming them for fueling speculative transactions in the foreign exchange market. Again this year, the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, has said the Apex Bank will stop the sale of foreign exchange to banks by the end of 2022. That was the information we gave you in September, that CBN injected $7.6 billion into the Nigerian economy, into the financial sector, in order to stabilize the dollar. You know why I smile or I laugh? It's the same story. The CBN is subsidizing the dollar. Now, should this subsidy of the dollar continues? That is the question here. And removal of that subsidy, will it help the common man on the street? One thing remains, that if the CBN stop the subsidy of the dollar, the price of Naira to dollar will go up. Market forces of demand and supply will begin to determine it. And if the price of dollar go up, remember, many of the things we do in this country, we import them. Even the ones we don't import seems to be, their price still go up. You can imagine when the price of garri goes up because the price of dollar go up. Is it because we produce garri in UK, US, and we import them? That is a Nigerian situation. That is why sometimes the economists, they say Nigerian situations sometimes, they don't flow according to economic principles. Now let's begin to look at it together. If the CBN should hand off, what is going to happen in the foreign exchange market? Will you support it? Should we allow the banks? But whether the CBN hand off or CBN don't hand off, there is still black market. That is the parallel market, the unofficial market. And many of the people who transact in dollar, they get their dollar from the black market, the sabos of this world. Only few influential Nigerians, few influential corporations, few influential companies get their dollar on official rate from the Central Bank of Nigeria. And as I have told you before, that even the CBN is planning to stop selling dollars to banks by the end of 2022. But IMF is saying, let CBN hand off. Let the banks do the marketing of the dollar. Let them do the buying and the selling. Let the power of foreign exchange come to commercial bank. Let it withdraw from CBN. Let it withdraw from Bureau de Change. Let it come to commercial bank. But the other question again is, will commercial banks also not abuse this power if they are given? Won't they also use it to their own advantage? Remember, most of these commercial banks, there are many of them are PLC, but at the same time, a lot of their officials are also working to benefit themselves, to benefit their company. So they are also there for profit maximization. Another recommendation that IMF gave us to better the Nigerian economy is that the Nigerian government should remove fuel subsidy and tackle oil theft to reduce the budget deficit and increase oil production. Remember, the federal government of Nigeria has said for the first half, January to June 2023, there will be fuel subsidy. But from July to December 2023, subsidy would have been removed. And it was said more than 50%, about 6 trillion naira out of the 2023 budget is actually due to subsidy. And most of this money, it is budget deficit actually. The deficit that the budget of next year is having, more than 50% of that deficit is due to subsidy. That is, most of the debt Nigeria will be owing as a result of the budget of 2026 is because the federal government want to pay for fuel subsidy. Now, even as it is, there are these staggering scarcity all over the nation. It has been happening for weeks now, and businesses are feeling it. Yes, on the average, most filling stations now sell fuel at 200 naira. Some sell 210, mostly 200, 210. Very few I saw sell at 195 naira. And prices all across the nation are adjusting. Price of flour, price of rice, price of garri, price of palm oil, all of them are adjusting based on the situation of the price of fuel. And I want to give you information relating to that from what we have told you before on September 9th of September 2022. We got the information from Ripples Nigeria, and it says Angola overtakes Nigeria in crude oil production. That was information then. As crude oil production in Nigeria falls to 972,394 barrels per day in August 2020, Angola has overtaken Nigeria for the third time in 8 months. This was disclosed by Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission during a monthly oil report on Thursday, 8 September. Angola's average daily oil output for August was 1.17 million barrels per day. Nigeria's average daily oil output is 1.13 million barrels per day. Libya's average daily output is 1.08 million barrels per day. That means, as that information as of September, confirmed that Angola produces more than Nigeria. So Nigeria was not the largest oil producer in Africa as at then. The information then also tells us the Nigerian benchmark for crude oil was $90 per barrel, but current price of crude is 40% higher than $90. That is, the price of crude as at that September was more than $100 per barrel. And for the 2023 budget, Nigeria is proposing 15.7 billion naira. 2022 budget, that is 15.7 billion naira as fuel subsidy, and that amount is exceed the budget of 36 state governments in Nigeria. $15.7 billion was the fuel subsidy for this year alone, January to December, and that exceeds the budget of 36 state governments of Nigeria. A member of President Muhammadu Buhari Advisory Council, who is also a chief executive officer of Financial Derivative Company Limited, Mr. Bismarck Rewani, has indicated, with Nigeria's petrol subsidy bill skyrocketing in 2022, the oil estimate for the whole year will exceed the total expenditure by all the 36 states of the Federation in 2021, which was $9.8 billion. So as of 2021, the expenditure of all 36 state governments in Nigeria was $9.8 billion, but the first subsidy for 2022 is $15.7 billion, far beyond the 36 state budget. The report came as the NNPC maintains that oil theft is taking a severe toll on its performance. It disclosed that it loses 470,000 barrels of oil per day, and this amounts to $700 million per month, according to Bala Wunti, the general manager, National Petroleum Investment Management Services. The fuel subsidy accounts for over 50% of the 11 trillion naira budget deficit projected by the federal government for 2023 budget. So we're saying more than 50% of the 11 trillion budget deficit for 2023 is because of fuel subsidy. So IMF is saying Nigeria should remove fuel subsidy. Now, many questions. If Nigeria remove fuel subsidy, how much shall we be buying petrol? I want to give us an idea into that. The price of diesel used to be 200, 250, 300 naira, but as we speak, the prices went as high as 800 naira, 900 naira, 1,000 naira per liter of diesel. Why was it like that? It was because subsidy on diesel, which is AGO, has been removed. Now the question is this: if the subsidy on petrol, PMS, petrol motor spirit, is removed, are we not going to buy petrol for 500 naira or 600 naira or 700 naira? What are you saying over there? And the IMF is saying the federal government should work on oil theft. Oil theft is a big man business. is a multi-million business that is an illegal business, of course, but oil theft is not needle. Oil is not needle that they say they took it passed through some places and nobody knows. No, that's not the situation. So a lot of people are aware of the oil theft. Many people are covering them. So many big men are involved. All of us know that. Though we may not know their name, but we are aware that it's a big time business. So those who are involved, even those who are possibly in government, who are part of the oil theft, are the ones to be exposed and let everything be known. And I would say the enemy of government is in government. The enemy of Nigeria is not outside. It is right here in Nigeria. Another recommendation by IMF says the federal government should ensure fiscal transparency. Fiscal transparency. What is the meaning? That is, the spending, the revenue, and the spending of the government should be known to the people. People should know how much government gets, how much government spend. The issue about governance should not be shrouded in secrecy. Many have been asking questions, how much does our senators collect? They don't disclose them. How much do they get for salary? How much do they get for emolument? How much do they get for allowances? How much do they get for traveling allowances? How much is their sitting allowance? How much is their wardrobe allowance? How much is newspaper allowance? And many allowances like that. How much exactly? They didn't tell us. They would rather tell us, go and find out. There should be transparency and information. All this information must be known. All the movement, the president traveled from Nigeria to UK for medical trip. How many people went with him? How many officials went with him? And how much did they spend? Where did the money come from? Was it from the government coffer? Was it from his own personal money? Where are this money? How did this money come? Was it a donation? Was it free of charge? All of this information we need to know. Why are we asking all this? Is because all this money is what is needed to create jobs for Nigerians. But if somebody has spent them on personal purposes, on selfish purpose, how will the jobs be created? The IMF is also saying the government should help weak banks. There should be a way to strengthen them, maybe to encourage them to be stabilized, to put more funds, or have a policy that will help them to be able to strengthen themselves. The IMF says the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, which is AMCOM, their activity should be wound down because it is not really helping the nation. It's not helping the bank to flow and to manage themselves as much as they're supposed to be. Where IMF has said their own, they've said their own. And remember, part of what the Nigerian government said when the 2023 budget came out was that for the 11 trillion naira deficit in the 2023 budget, part of the way to fund that budget is to go to the IMF to support. But now, IMF that should give the loan to fund the 2023 budget is giving Nigeria recommendations on what to do. Maybe they may not be willing to give Nigerian loan to finance their budget if they don't support if Nigeria don't support what the fund had recommended. Well, time will tell. And the IMF is also telling Nigeria to do a lot of reform in agric sector. Our agric should go beyond manual use of hoe and cutlass and come to mechanized farming. People should have access to machines, rent it and use it on their farm and return it so that they can mass produce food and all other agricultural products. I sincerely want to talk about the jackpot syndrome this morning. That was another economic issue that is affecting a lot of people in Nigeria. Many people are finding means and ways to escape from this nation. Just to escape by all means, even if they don't know where they are going. And remember the countdown to the Naira redesign. It comes up less than a month now. It will start, new note will start coming out December 15th. If you have cash loaded in your house, please take them out and take them to bank. All right, thank you so much for this morning. We appreciate you. It has been Eco Pointer, the business and economic news program on Success Radio Ibadan. Success Radio Ibadan. We appreciate you for being there with us. Thank you for being part of this morning program. Keep to share it. You can, if you are for some of your lovers and people on your contact who could not join us this morning, they can go back to the Facebook and click on Success Radio Ibadan, and they can listen again to the program right there and be part of it. And let's also make sure we are part of it by next week. Every Tuesday, this program comes up 9 a.m. in the morning till 10 a.m. My name is Kolawole Kayode. Kolawole Kayode. That is your anchor on Eco Pointer every Tuesday 9 a.m. on Success Radio Ibadan. And for you to reach me, my number is 070-5370-6276. 070-5370-6276. Thank you so much for being there. We appreciate you.
Unselele